All right, everyone. As usual, some kind of YouTube weirdness, but we're back. So let me just wait here for people to show up. Sorry about this. Let's see here. There we go. Let me know if this is looking okay for you all. Yeah, here I am. You know, it was funny. It was just sitting there beach balling. I'm like, it's all set up. It's ready to go, but the screen was beach balling. YouTube has a lot of problems like that. The internet here is fine, everything's fine, but for some reason it just couldn't work. So, okay. Let's make sure everyone has a chance to show up. I'm going to just wait just a moment here. In the meantime, thanks everyone for coming tonight, Thursday night, my favorite night when we do these live meditations. Tonight is going to be shorter than normal. Normally we do an hour-long meditation and then I have a half-hour talk, so they're about 90 minutes. Tonight is going to be more like an hour. So we're going to do a little more intense meditation and then talk. So it'll be a little bit abbreviated, more like a half-hour meditation this evening. I see a lot of people here who are from the new course, so we'll talk about the course after the meditation, but welcome everybody. I'm really, really excited about that. So let's see. Looks like hopefully everybody's here. Sorry about the weirdness there. Woohoo. Hi, Eric. I think Tyson's here too. So we got some very old school folks here, some very new school folks. Here's my wonderful ancient, really, this t-shirt I've washed so many times, it's like falling apart, but it's like this weird Berkeley punk band from like 10 years ago. I really like them. Awesome. If anyone's still over in the other one, make sure you, I don't think it exists anymore, but if it does, someone should leave a message there to come over here. All right, so we're gonna, again, start the meditation now. And as I said, it'll be a little shorter than normal, about a half-hour meditation, and then we'll talk. So let's begin. As usual, first, I would like you to get your meditation posture correct. So you sit, so your lower spine, if I sit correctly, I'll zip up out of the screen here, so let me back up. Get your lower spine curved inward, a concave curve, so your back shoots up straight. Notice if you have a convex curve, your lower back is slumped, your whole back slumps. But get that pelvis correct, your back will go up straight. Then you get your chin tucked, as if you're at the very, very peak. Top of your head is being pulled up towards the ceiling in a pleasant way. Chin is tucked, back is straight. Then let your whole rest of your body just relax. Sitting like a mountain. Sit as if you are the living Buddha. Sit as if you have the immobility, the absolute immovability of the world mountain, of an infinitely large mountain. And sit with a kind of nobility and dignity and grace. Because we're sitting to express the ground of being, we're sitting to express our true nature, we're sitting to express the enlightened wisdom that already exists at the most deepest core level of everyone's mind. So sit as if you are the enlightened being that you, in fact, already are at your deepest, most authentic level. Now, what I want you to do is to set your intention. Why are you meditating tonight? Something like, I'm meditating to deepen, or to deepen my awakening, or to awaken, I'm meditating so that awakening will benefit myself, it will benefit the other people and other beings and animals all around me, and it will, in fact, help to benefit everyone everywhere. So we're meditating to help. We're meditating to help ourselves, we're meditating to help others. And we're also meditating to express our inherent Buddhahood. Okay, so really get behind that intentionality and then feel from this place of nobility, from this place of authenticity, the wisdom of the Buddha arising, the clarity, the clear mind, meaning perfectly, a mind of perfect clarity arising like a bodhisattva or a Buddha, and feel the heart of genuine compassion, the heart of genuinely caring and wanting to help of a bodhisattva, of a Buddha arising. Feel all that now and tap into that. And we're going to meditate from that place. So have confidence, have wisdom, clarity, compassion. Just notice those features, those characteristics are already there. And we're going to sit from that place. Okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is to just drop all the cares of the day. Just drop all that. Drop being involved in your personality. Just drop all that. And for a minute, just tune into vast, spacious awareness. Even if thoughts are rising, even if emotions are rising, notice that in this vast, spacious awareness, there's perfect peace, perfect calm, perfect clarity, total wisdom, bright, clear, awakened awareness. Absolutely pure, absolutely unsullied, utterly bright, beautiful, vibrant, joyous, alive awareness. And from this place of awareness, I want you to begin now to do your concentration meditation. Now, usually we do this on the breath, so let's do it on the breath tonight, but I want you to breathe very slowly and deeply, allowing awareness to meditate on the breath. So you're not concentrating from your normal personality. You're not concentrating like a beam of light from your mind or something. This vast, spacious Buddha awake awareness is simply feeling the breath. It doesn't take any effort at all because awareness is already aware of the breath. So on the in-breath, awareness is aware of that raising belly. On the out-breath, this awake awareness is just aware of the falling belly. Belly rising on the in-breath, belly falling on the out-breath. And there's no effort involved in this. Awareness itself is simply gathering, simply noticing, simply being with this rising and falling belly as we breathe. And just allow awareness to become aware of that while staying very open, very wide at the same time. If it's too hard to do it that way, then simply focus on your breathing in the way that you're used to. But what I'd like you to attempt to do is just allow this vast, open awareness to just notice the breathing. It's just a different way. We're not using attention, we're just allowing awareness to be aware. Again, if that's too hard, just focus on the breathing in whatever way works. Good. Now, again, you can let go of any particularity and instead just allow this vast, spacious awareness to notice itself. And there's no effort in that because, of course, awareness is already aware of itself. But just allow it to be aware of itself and rest as itself. So that there's no doing, there's no trying. This pristine, exquisite, bright, clear awareness is simply aware of itself. And notice that anything you try to do here doesn't work. You can't concentrate here, you can't figure it out. There's no angle on doing this right, there's no special trick. You just got to stop doing anything at all, or even trying to do anything at all, and just allow. Allow the awareness to just do what it's already doing, which is be aware of itself. And if it starts to get involved in thinking or it starts to get involved in feeling, just drop that and rest in awareness of awareness. If it starts to get involved in external sight or sound or other body sensations in the body, just drop that and come back to just allowing this bright, clear, crisp, vast Buddha awareness to rest in awareness of itself. You can't do it on purpose. You just have to let go. The thing that's trying to do it right is the thing that's getting in the way. So just let go. And then it's not in the way anymore. Okay, good. Now we're going to bring up that Buddha compassion, that sense of wanting to help, the sense of caring about the world. And what I want you to notice is that awareness can seem to be centered in the heart. In reality, awareness has no center at all. everywhere is equally aware. But we can feel as if awareness is centered in the heart. And now I want you to, on purpose, imagine a sun, like the sun in the sky, a beautiful, glowing sun in the heart, a lovely yellow, bright, sharp, clear, intense, radiant soul, right? The sun, soul. The real name of the sun is soul, S-O-L, right? Picture that as clearly as you can and feel it too. Feel that radiant, powerful, awake, intense energy of the sun in the heart. It's growing bigger and bigger, gets more and more intense. And this is powerful energy. This is not soft, gentle energy. This is the power of awakening, power of compassion, the power of the clear Buddha mind. And now what I want you to do is to begin to breathe in all the suffering and misery and pain of the world into your nose and down into that sun. And that sun burns up all the suffering and pain and sorrow of the world. And it burns it up without anything left over. There's not even smoke, there's not ash. It burns it up completely. And I want you to visualize very clearly everything that is so awful and sad right now. All the injustice of the world, not just as a concept. See the people, see the animals, see the beings who are suffering deeply from injustice. And on the in-breath, you pull in all that injustice, you take it, and it goes into the sun in the heart, and the sun in the heart just annihilates it completely. And then on the out-breath, the sweet, loving, soothing, calm aspect of that radiant heart flows back out and brings relief and healing and love and kindness and help to all those beings who are suffering from injustice. And then think about all the beings who are sick and feeling immense pain from the sickness in their body and the fact that the emotional pain from the fact that they can't do the things they used to do and the things they want to do. Think of all that pain of all the sick humans and animals and beings everywhere. Both the physical sickness, the physical pain, and the emotional pain of that. And I want you to breathe it in and let it touch this radiant sun in the heart. And this radiant sun is sharp and just cuts through all that. And it's like fire and it burns it all up. And it's like lightning that just blows it to the ground. And it's like wind that just vaporizes it entirely. So there's not even dust left. There's not even ashes. It's just gone. And then on the out breath, the soothing, soft, easy, relaxing quality of that sun. You breathe it out. And you bring healing to all those beings so that their bodies are healed and their minds are healed. And those difficult emotions are soothed. And it brings relief. And it brings gentleness and softness. And it brings a sense of kindness and love and connection. So now I'll just be quiet as you breathe in any kind of suffering, sorrow, despair, sickness, problems, and you allow the sun in the heart to just annihilate those difficulties. And then the joyous, peaceful, soft, soothing, compassionate aspect of the sun in the heart flows back out on the out breath and brings relief to all beings. So let's just do that together for a little while here. Remember that this radiant sun just annihilates all suffering with no remainder. All the sickness is gone, all the sadness is gone, all the pain is gone, all the suffering is gone, with no remainder. It's just utterly annihilated. It's so sharp and so fiery and so powerfully intense. It just vaporizes all problems with no remainder. Even the vapor is gone. And then you breathe out this wonderful, healing, soothing love in all directions. It's like rainbows and smiles and love in all directions. And it brings relief and joy and peace in all directions. Good. And now that sun starts growing bigger. And it's not only purifying all the sorrow of the world, but it's purifying all the sorrow and all the pain and any sickness in your own body and in your own mind. It's growing bigger and bigger, and it just burns up any difficulties, any suffering in the heart, any sadness, any problems. It even is just burning off and annihilating the entire body. So as it grows bigger and bigger, your body just disappears completely into this flaming, intense, powerful sun. And on each in-breath, it's filling awareness with relief, with joy, with health, with confidence, and with compassion. And now all that's left is this radiant sun. And it's just radiating joy in all directions. It's radiating healing and strength in all directions. It's radiating love and a sense of belonging and appreciation in all directions. It's radiating gratitude and peace in all directions. And everywhere the light of the sun strikes in the entire world, in the entire universe, this light of the sun glints off whatever it strikes, and there's like prism-like rainbows everywhere. Wherever the sun strikes in the whole universe and the whole world, it creates this beautiful reflected prism-like rainbow light that is beaming, healing, joy, compassion, confidence, strength, wisdom, and love. The whole universe is like a jewel reflecting this rainbow light. See that, feel that, be that. Good. And now the sun itself expands to fill the entire universe, growing larger and larger and larger and larger until we see that it is simply the light of awake awareness, the light of the Buddha mind that is already within you. Simply vast, spacious awareness now with no objects in all directions, simply vast, awake space, no boundaries, no time, no movement in all directions, nothing in it except awakeness. It is absolutely at rest and peaceful. It is absolutely clear and bright and awake. Okay, good. Let's end the meditation there. As I said, for those of you who didn't see the very beginning of this is a shorter meditation tonight, just about a half hour. So we'll just leave that there. Notice the smile on your face right now. Notice how you feel. And allow your body to move and stretch. Feel free to take a drink of a refreshing liquid. And so this is a kind of a westernized and adapted version of Tonglen meditation from the Tibetan tradition, the Vajrayana tradition. So Tonglen means giving and receiving, right? So we're giving out the compassion, the healing, the strength, the joy, the wisdom, and taking on all the suffering and burning it all off. Right? It's very important that that awakened sun in the heart burns it all off completely. It doesn't leave any left over. And then we breathe out just that compassionate, wise, brilliantly awake joy of the Buddha to the whole world, right? And so this is, if I had done a sit like this long ago, like let's say 30 years ago, I would have just kind of, that it feels good, right? It feels good, but I would have probably mocked it as sort of a ridiculous visualization. But the more you do this, you realize it's not about the visualization so much. I mean, that's the technique, but it's about the transformative quality of the awareness that is coming to the technique, right? It's the fact that it reminds us of our own Buddha nature. It reminds us of what the ground of being within us is really like. It's interesting because if we think of imagination in our society, imagination has kind of a dirty word. It's like not real and so sort of dismissible. Oh, that's just imagination. That's just imaginary. That's a way that we talk about something that we can just dismiss. But this is a very impoverished view of the imagination because, well, for many reasons, but like there's probably 30 reasons I could give, but the reason I want to give tonight is because it's one thing to imagine that you are, a rocket scientist and say, I'm a rocket scientist, like you're a 6-year-old playing. But, hey, that's just imaginary. You're not a rocket scientist. If you try to build a rocket, you're probably going to burn your fingers. But when we are doing this kind of imagination or visionary work with the ground of being, with our Buddha nature, because you really are the ground of being. You're really coming from the ground of being. That's really there. It's not imaginary. This kind of visualization exercise is allowing a clearer realization or clearer coming forth of the ground of being that's already within you, right? In a way, you're imagining something real that you've forgotten. And by imagining it, you're remembering it, right? And this ground of being, this Buddha nature within you, this is what it's doing all the time. It's wise, it's clear, it's bright, it's compassionate, it's joyous, it's confident, it's strong. And so when we're visualizing this, we're not visualizing, I mean, the visualization is in the imagination, but it's helping us to remember our true nature and the nature of the ground of being. So it's a very, very powerful way of working. And I think that there, for many years, I just didn't understand. I thought it was powerful because of, I either would have said it wasn't worth doing because I just wanted to focus or do, like some kind of concentration meditation, or just not understood it. But now I understand that it is, in a way, it's a kind of, remember the word for mindfulness is sati, right? In the Pali language, or smriti in Sanskrit, and both those words mean to remember. So even though we translate it as mindfulness, it really means to remember. Like to remember to be mindful, to remember to come back. But in this way of working, this kind of visualization is reminding us of who we really are, which is not even a person, not a personality. It's, if it's anything at all, it's a Buddha. It is a bodhisattva. It is this ground of being, awake awareness in its purest form. And even that can be seen as empty, and yet that is a much truer sense of our actual identity than our personality or our story. And so I love Tonglen. It's a wonderful practice, and it's really good for tuning back in with the ground of being. And notice how you feel when you're done. Even though you've been breathing in all this sorrow and pain and stuff, it feels great. It feels great because you're transforming all that. You're transforming all that. So let's briefly switch to some questions, if you want, in the chat room. We'll be done at 6:30 here, not at 7 tonight. Like I say, we're going to end a little early because I'm actually on my own meditation retreat. So I'm coming out of my self-retreat to do this with you all tonight, but I'm keeping it a little shorter. So let's see. Some nice comments. Thank you, everybody. Kira Glow, I loved how we transform from the infinite sun to the light of awareness. Yeah, same light, same awareness, right? Anybody, if you have questions, please type them in the window. Brandon, what tips do you have for communicating meditation advice to lay people and complete novices? How to not sound woo-woo? My main advice is don't communicate meditation advice unless it's simply relaxation, how to breathe slow and feel it, and so on. Because anything more advanced than that, unless they've really asked you, I just wouldn't go there. I would just teach relaxation, being with their breath, or whatever. And honestly, for most people, just getting calm and a little bit focused, that kind of really basic mindfulness, is step number one. Or just helping them to see some positive side to what's occurring right now, and doing that in a really non-annoying way. It's really easy to be an annoying know-it-all, for me especially, an annoying know-it-all who wants to push this stuff in somebody's face, and I did that for a long time, and I realized that doesn't help. So honestly, no matter how excited you are about it and stuff, communicate it by example. That's really my real answer. Communicate it by example. Communicate it by being the best person you can be, by bringing your A game to every interaction with others, by trying to be helpful, by trying to be useful. And then that people are going to ask you, how do you do that? And then that's an opening to start showing something about how to at least be with the breath, how to at least calm down a bit. And that starts the journey, right? I think that's being a good example is the best possible way. You know, the only thing that shows that you have any awakening at all is your conduct, is how you act in the world. To the extent that I don't care how enlightened you say you are, to the extent that you act like a dick, you're not enlightened. You're not awake. I don't care that you meditate. If you're a jerk to people, if you're a jerk to animals, you're just, you got a ways to go, right? And we all have a ways to go. I can be a jerk. Everyone can be a jerk, right? It's not about being shaming or accusatory here. I'm just saying that your awakening is demonstrated in your conduct. And so your conduct with others is a journey. It helps your awakening, right? So be the best possible person that you can. And actually, this meditation also helps you to see that and to do that, right? Because it's building that mood. Robin is saying that part of my mind is afraid I'm taking on the suffering of others with Tonglen. That's why it's extremely important to have the sun in the heart. Utterly, remember I said it like many times, it's utterly annihilating all that suffering. And if fear comes up, the sun annihilates the fear too. You're not taking on the suffering in any way. It all gets annihilated. Jay asks, do I have any tips or guidelines for doing self-retreats? Sure. Self-retreats are awesome. The short tip I would give is plan it in advance. Have a schedule for each part of the day on the self-retreat. Know what you're really going to do, because especially when you're not following retreat rules from in a group retreat, it's easy to drift. You can start to just kind of lose the thread a little bit. And so have a schedule and stay with it like you're on a group retreat. And that really, really, really helps. If you want more tips, there's a whole article. I didn't write it, but there's a good article on the Deconstructing Yourself website about doing a self-retreat. And I published it because I really liked what the author recommended there. Looking at other questions here. Kirglo, how can we remind ourselves to always embody the compassionate heart? Again, two ways. One is just to set up reminders. You remind yourself by reminding yourself, like you can do it with like a reminder on the phone or whatever, but it's better to simply do compassion meditation each day for a little while, at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or at least once a week for a longer meditation. And then that is putting that idea in the system so that you remember more and more and more, and you're embodying the compassionate heart. And remember, the compassionate heart is still wise and strong. It's not stupid and weak. It's not just like, oh, I'm a doormat and everyone can run me over, even though, the compassionate heart is not helping people to go buy their drugs because they're suffering from drug addiction, right? That would be an example of a doormat compassion. We want to have our compassionate action be truly helpful. So it's incredibly important to embody the compassionate heart in some action each day. It's good if you're having trouble remembering it to actually do something, volunteer for something. I remember one time I did an online training to volunteer to talk to people on the phone who were having a hard time. And that was a really difficult practice, and it was great because then you're doing it. You volunteer for a shift and you get on the VoIP, and it's like you're talking with someone who's having a hard time. And then there's compassion in action, right? So there's many, many, many ways to do it. Tyson, hey Tyson, I thought you were going to be here. Eric's here too, probably, maybe even other people from our old group. At some points I've been able to be with that vast, spacious awareness, but it's fleeting. Tonight I couldn't get there. Any thoughts from you when I try this again in the morning? Yeah, the simplest thing is trying to get there doesn't work. The vast, spacious awareness is where you're really coming from. So in other words, you're not being with vast, spacious awareness. You are vast, spacious awareness. And the Tyson who thinks he's having a hard time, or the Tyson who's involved in thinking about how to do his job, or take care of business or whatever, that's all just arising within vast, spacious awareness. And so the more Tyson tries to figure out how to be with the vast, spacious awareness, the more he's just getting involved in that knot of thought and feeling. And so that's what I was saying earlier at the very beginning of the meditation. Anything you do to try to get there just gets in the way. You have to just drop all the trying and noticing. You have to notice that awareness is already there, and that awareness is much larger. It's very big. There's no boundaries. So it's an interesting move, right? And you're in the course, Tyson. We'll talk about it in the upcoming course. We'll learn to do it, but you just drop that. Now, if you can't just drop it, then you do the kind of meditation that I've been teaching you for years, which is you get with your breath, you get with your emotions, and you do that until your mind is calm enough so that you can just drop. So sometimes we're just too caught up to let go. So we do the focus meditation to calm everything down enough till you can just drop. Okay? So that's how you do it. And I know, you're super trained in Vipassana. So you do Vipassana on your thoughts and feelings, or even just your breath, until you kind of calm down enough to notice that vast awareness space is there and has always been there. And we were just knotted up in our thoughts and feelings. Tanya asks, does Tonglen help us help others because of its effects on us? Yeah, of course. It's reminding us of our Buddha nature. It's opening our heart. It's reminding us that there is no separation between us and others on the deepest possible level. Everyone is us, and not just people. Animals are us. Insects are us. The world is us. Plants are us. Everything is us. And Tonglen is reminding us there's no inside and outside, right? There's complete connection. So yeah, it's wonderful for opening that heart and helping us to have better conduct. And also it deepens our connection to the ground of being. So it's a great practice. I don't do enough of it. I want to start doing more. Dee is asking about the differences in energy and exchange and shamanism and Tonglen, and we are not taking in and transforming the suffering, correct? Yeah, we're not doing shamanic, this is a huge question. It would take weeks to answer it, but I'll just say we're not doing a shamanic transformation of the suffering. The suffering is annihilated. So it's not transformed, it's just gone. And then we're breathing out healing and wisdom and joy and love and compassion. Okay, so it's a little different. It's a little different than that kind of energy work that we might do in a shamanic practice or so on. All right, I know there's more questions here, but we're going to have to end soon. So I'm going to end the questions right now. So sorry about that I didn't get a chance to get to everyone's questions. I want to talk about two things. I'm going to shift gears out of teaching mode now. I want to talk about two things. One is the upcoming course. So I see a lot of you here signed up for the course because I recognize your names from the sign up. So this is just a really short version of some of the stuff we'll be doing in there. I'm really excited about it for people who are watching, and it's still like May right now, 2021, and into early June 2021. There's sign up right now for my online course called Vast Sky Mind, where it's essentially, my idea for this course was I've been teaching these non-dual guided meditation videos on YouTube for a couple of years now, and there's like 100 of them. But I haven't really, except for the Q&A, I haven't really gone into the structure of the philosophy and practice of this type of meditation. Like, how do you really understand it? And then how do you apply that to really doing it? And so that's the idea for the course. It's like, hey, there's all these guided non-dual meditations. We got 100 of them on here. How do you do non-dual meditation? What's it about? Where does it come from? And how do we understand it? But most of all, how do we do it effectively? So that's what the course is about. And as you know, we have this vast, spacious awareness that is a centerpiece of how we work. And so that's why the course is called Vast Sky Mind. So I don't want to get into a whole big advertisement here. I know most people have already signed up. But if you're interested and you haven't signed up, there's a link there in the chat window, and I'll put a link in the comments after this is no longer live. And the course starts on June 16th. It'll be Wednesday nights for 90 minutes. So again, I'll just stop talking about it now because I don't want this to sound like an infomercial. I just want people to know, if you like these guided meditations on YouTube, that there's a whole course now to help you get into this way of practicing much more deeply. The second thing I want to get into is, of course, these live guided meditations are brought to you by myself and also in conjunction with San Francisco Dharma Collective. And San Francisco Dharma Collective has a lot of other teachers. You can go to the San Francisco Dharma Collective website and look up all their other amazing programs. There's Chandra Easton, there's Eve Ekman. They're doing amazing programs. There's Susie Keeley with her soul-making Dharma stuff from Robert Bea. There's Eric Davis doing psychedelic Sangha. There's me doing death Sangha. So there's a tremendous amount of cool stuff coming at you from San Francisco Dharma Collective. And what's amazing is it's all free. I have these YouTube videos online for free. San Francisco Dharma Collective has me and all their other teachers online for free. This is free Dharma to the world. Come check it out. Come learn. We love giving this out to the world for free. And what we want you to do is take that generosity that we're giving, where we're coming from in this generous way, and give it to the rest of your world. Give it to the people around you. Give it to even yourself. Give it to the animals around you. Make your own world a more generous place. And if you have the kind of abundance where you feel like donating to San Francisco Dharma Collective in general, or San Francisco Dharma Collective and me, to help us get this work out there to the world, then feel free to donate at the links that Pranab is putting in the chat window now. Okay, we'd really, really, really appreciate those donations. If you mention that you did it during these with me online on YouTube, then they'll split it with me, and that would be great. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining. I know this is really short, But I just wanted to get some Tonglen in there. I feel like the world really needs it. I feel like all of us really need it. And for those of you who are already in the course, or those of you who are going to join the course, or those of you who will never join the course, but who I see online every week, or who are in my other courses, I really look forward to seeing you and working with you further. Thanks, everybody. It's so wonderful to see the names of all the people, my friends in the chat window, and all the people who I will know soon via the magic of the interwebs, the intertubes. See you later, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.